Hello, all. This is Heathen Queen here. I got on here today and I was just thinking about Jezzy and Jeanie Mai and wondering, like most people, why would they break up at this particular time? And I got unusual thought patterns on why this stuff happened. And I want to address first the rumors. Okay, so for the record, I am half autistic and have very little filter. So fuck all who get offended by my take on this. Rumor number one. She cheated. Jeanie Mai cheated. That's rumor number one. I don't think she did. She was too goo-goo about him and that relationship to have a hand in making it go down and shitter by cheating like that. I don't think she cheated. 2 years in, she not cheating on a man like Jezzy anyway. She loves him. This is her second try at the brass ring, and she ain't trying to fail after putting her heart and soul into this relationship. I mean, you could tell that by the videos that she made. Besides, she had a kid with this guy. So unless he's an undercover simp, gay, or some shit like that, I seriously doubt she cheated. Besides, I think we would have seen some evidence of that bullshit, some evidence of trouble in paradise if that was the case. We would have seen some evidence of that by now, I guess. I think this happened inside that house. Whatever happened inside that house where both of the people lived, where there was dysfunction, and they kept it in that house. Because y'all know a lot of people hide a lot of shit that go on in a house from family and friends. So you know what I'm talking about. They embarrassed about the shit. They may, tell family and friends everything is okay, but it really ain't okay. Okay? Besides, she seemed as though she was blindsided by the filing. Maybe not blindsided by the fact that he may have been disgruntled. Okay? Everybody say they've been blindsided, but when they get dumped. Most people are not blindsided. Red flags occurred all throughout that fucking relationship. It had to for him to go that way. And Jezzy was a witness to it, and he didn't sign up for whatever fuckery was going on. Okay, so she needed to look at her behavior because he was the one who filed. So it's some kind of reaction from her or her behavior that prompted him to do this. Okay. Number two, I say, second rumor. No, this is the second part of that she may have cheated. I don't think she knew he was going to file, because if they're a regular married couple and he hid this from her, hid the filing of it, or hid the signing of it in June or someday, it was June or July, I heard. If he hid that all the way until now, he was still busting her down. In June, July, August, and beginning of September, he was still busting her down. They were sleeping together, wasn't they? So I don't think he was cheating. I don't think that was even a part of the whole thing. And I don't really think she cheated either. Why? Because most men ain't gonna touch a woman after they done find out she been slurping it up with another dude. Not too many. They're gonna be like, I'm out. I'm out. They're gonna say, I'm out today, right? But it was no cheat. I don't think it was cheating, because he would have did it in June. I mean, he would have did it when he got the lawyers and whatnot to sign the papers or get it together. And that was a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, that he started getting his shit together, right? So I don't think she cheated, and I don't think he cheated. But rumor number two about him cheating, I think it was too early in the marriage for him to tell her to go fly. Besides, he filed, which says that she was the guilty party. Most men gonna try to stick around regardless of whether they cheat or not until the woman kicked their ass the fuck out, right? So I don't think he was the one who cheated. He woke up in motherfucking June and decided that he didn't love her anymore and decided to give her the boot. I don't think that's how that happened. June is when the lawyers got the paperwork together. Okay? Jeezy sat on that fucking paperwork, right? Because he was waiting for something. He was looking for something. Maybe a change in her behavior, a change in her demeanor, family, etc. Then the behavior showed up again and he was like, fuck this. Now, for me, several things came out in the gossip that made me come to my two conclusions of why they haven't getting a divorce. Okay, number one was Jeannie said she had a temper. I don't know when that information came out, but she had a temper. That surfaced, because I had never heard that before. Then that surfaced within the last week or two. And Jeezy filed for joint custody. And Jeezy said she was not marriage minded. How do you come to that conclusion? Right? How do you come to that conclusion that we are incompatible marital wise? Right? Now, what does it mean to have those kind of declarations? Those three, we just gonna tackle those three. What does those three things mean when you're a person in the world like me? And a person like me enjoys thinking on that low vibrational level when it suits me, and we let the degenerate side of our personality rule our thought patterns. What does those three things mean to a human being like me? What do we come up with? I come up with this speculation spun out of some of those three facts and a lot of fuckery that I'm thinking. Now, my number one theory is this. Jeannie Mai got her family living there, right? And the brother and the mama. Maybe the daddy, I ain't sure. Now you have to think, those are two totally, and I'm going leaning towards the family value thing. Those are two totally different backgrounds that are coming together under one roof. Jeezy can't be from a family where they don't have people living with them. I'm not going for the fact that he's not used to people living with them, okay? He got to be used to people living with him. So it can't just be the fact that people are living with them. That can't just be it, right? But the mama moved in, different cultures. Now, what if, and this is pure speculation and fuckery, what if, and I heard they were speaking Vietnamese in the house, with Jeezy in the house. Now, how do you feel walking into your own fucking house and hearing motherfuckers speak a foreign language and you don't know what the fuck they saying? But mama over there in the corner pointing to you saying some crazy shit. Now, what if I decided on my fuckery, because I do pure fuckery sometimes, I decided I was going to record what mama was saying. And then I took it to a Vietnamese interpreter. And what if the Vietnamese interpreter came back and said, she calling you a motherfucking baboon or some crazy shit like that. She talking about you. Whenever you turn on the recorder, she talking about you, calling you names and shit like that. But since you don't understand Vietnamese, she talking crazy. And whoever's standing there with her ain't checking her. The other person that's speaking Vietnamese with her ain't checking her. So boom. Jeezy might have did some shit like that. Said, fuck this. I'm come home and I hear, I ain't trying to be on no fuckery. But when I come home and I hear them talking Vietnamese and I don't know what the fuck they saying, I want to know what the fuck they saying. So I decided I was going to record it and have somebody tell me, because I think mama calling me a motherfucking monkey or some crazy shit like that. Or anything out of the ordinary, calling me a thug or a criminal or some shit like that. So I want to find out. Because I know my wife ain't going to tell me she's saying this shit, because that's her mama. So let me get somebody to interpret this shit for me and find out what the fuck is going on. Or better still, have a recording in the house. And I heard some shit. Came home, heard some shit, and then took it to an interpreter. And the interpreter told me this was what was going on while I wasn't there. Because that could be the case too. That would be fucked up. Why is it we don't have family values and expectations? Just think about that. You letting your mom, Jeanie Mai, got a mama and family living in the house with them. Mama calling Jeezy all kinds of names, nigga, criminal, baboon, blase, woo-woo, monkey, you name it. She letting her mama say all this shit in Vietnamese, and Jeanie Mai understand her mama, but she ain't checking her mama. But she's saying this shit. And mama's supposed to be such a good, you supposed to have family value. You supposed to be dealing with your husband on a legitimate basis, but you letting your mama call your husband all kinds of names and say something crazy about your husband. But you ain't saying nothing. Because it cannot be the fact that they moved in. Her family moved in with him. Because if that was the case, he could have built another house on the grounds. Or they could have built another house, a bigger house, or bought a bigger house, and then they could have put the family on the other wing of the house, and they wouldn't have had to even interact like that all the time. Because it couldn't have been the proximity of her mama and them being in the house, okay? See what I'm saying? So I'm saying, okay, that's one theory. Mama and them was popping off at the mouth in Vietnamese, and motherfucking Jeezy found out. This is just my theory. But see, my degenerate mind go to that kind of shit. That's theory number one. And then they just kept doing it, and he found out Jeanie Mai wasn't checking mama. Mama kept saying this shit. Mama kept saying this shit and wasn't checking them. Wasn't checking the family or wasn't checking Ma. And Jeezy was like, oh, hell no. You know what the fuck your ma been saying. You know what's going on with your ma. Why you ain't been checking your ma? And you know damn well she has that kind of relationship with her family that them people don't check their parents. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They don't do that. They bow to whatever they say. So she might have been bowing to whatever her mama say. And then she didn't realize that Jeezy had it recorded and figured some shit out. Ass out. That's plain disrespect, and that ain't no family values neither. I could see it. But then I said, I'm from the degenerate side of the human race. So I get that. That was the first theory that ran across my mind when I realized it couldn't have been cheating. Right? And people don't get tired of people or being married to people within a year. It's something that happens that cuts the communication and love and deference off. Boom. Something happens and you look at your partner in a different way. You look at your partner and you be like, damn, I didn't even know you. Damn, that's fucked up that you said that or did that. When you've been married only for a year or two, these things, this is why marriages end early. It's because something hit so devastatingly to that one particular person that they like, no, I can't even deal with it because I got to keep going on with it. Okay? So I got to get out of it now. Either after having a baby. He is leaving a 1-year-old daughter without a father in the house to his wife. Don't you think he would have did everything he needed to do to stay? He married her. He wanted to do everything he needed to say. He's the one who filed. Whatever happened, he couldn't tolerate it no more. You understand? It was something that was a continuous thing. But he put up with it, put up with it, and he couldn't put up with it no more in June. And he held off on filing in June, but he put the paperwork together in June. And then when the shit happened again, or something similar happened again, he was like, fuck this. And that's when he filed in September. Now, that's theory number one. Theory number two. And it could have been, I'm sorry, this is added to theory number one. It could have been that he found out that Jeanie Mai just played him for his money so she could get a bag. And her mama and them knew about it. And her mama and them was talking in Vietnamese, and somehow he found out. Or somehow maybe the brother found out, and the brother just came to live with him, and the brother told Jezzy. Or any of those scenarios. That could be a scenario right there. Now, the last scenario. Second scenario, and this has to do with her temper. What if Jezzy found out that Jeanie Mai liked to whoop motherfuckers' asses? Specifically her mom's and her brothers. And then eventually tried to whip his ass. And he was like, oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. What if that is a part of her temper problem? She said she got a temper. When people, see, ain't that what I told y'all in one of them videos? I said when a motherfucker say they got a temper, that mean they like to whoop a motherfucker's ass, right? What if she like to whoop motherfuckers' asses? What if that's part of that family values and we don't see the eye to eye about family and this, that, and the third? What if that's got to do with it? What if that's it? Or something to do with it? She like to whoop a motherfucker's ass. What if that's part of it? She got a temper. She don't like to whoop his ass, but she like to fuck her mother or her brother up, or other people up, or her assistants up, or any number of people. Slap, a kick, a cussing out. You bitch, you da 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 da. Get mad at Jezzy, call him a nigga, da 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 da. Punch him in the face, punch your mama in the face, brother in the face. This is my second theory. It's something along these lines that I'm talking about, that something happened. He waited in June. He was going to file in June. He held off. He waited for something. He was waiting for something. Maybe she going to change. Maybe she going to get help. Maybe she going to make mama and move out. Maybe she going to da-da-da-da-da. She didn't do it. And he said, fuck it. I'm filing. I got to go. And then he files for joint custody. Ain't no way in hell y'all gonna take my kid all the way to California. I don't never get to see my kid. I don't get to say nothing to my kid. She just run off with my kid and I gotta pay her child support. I gotta pay this bitch child support. Not bitch, I'm sorry. I gotta pay this chick child support, and she fucked me over because she wanted my money from the beginning. And that's part of the first theory. Or she might be kicking my baby's ass up in California, and I don't know she kicking my baby's ass. Or she beating everybody's ass up in the house, and I don't know. Cussing my daughter out, calling my daughter a nigga, calling my daughter, all kinds of things. I'm just saying these are speculations of a degenerative mind. I'm not saying they're true. I'm saying, think about this shit. See, my mind goes straight to the gutter when I hear shit like that. When I find out somebody breaking up, I always think, what's the worst case scenario? And then I rule out all the scenarios until I get to where I can reasonably interpret what's going on. Because you don't wake up in the middle of the motherfucking night and say, I want a divorce from somebody. A year 2 years goes by too motherfucking fast for you to say I'm tired of a motherfucker just that quick. You just don't. And then you said, well, Jeanie Mai likes to be in the limelight. True enough, but he knew that when he married her, so he was used to that. Maybe she could cut back on maybe she could cut back on her this, that, and the third. He would have told her to cut back on her schedule, otherwise I'm leaving. He would have told her that. So it has nothing to do with her schedule, her wanting to be in the limelight. Because straight off the bat, I'm leaving if you don't shut this motherfucker down. I'm leaving if you don't shut this motherfucker down. We in the limelight too much. I don't like it. Shut this motherfucker down. And Jezzy probably would have said it at the beginning. So that's not the reason. Her wanting to be in the limelight. That's not the reason. Then people were saying, oh, she really wasn't submissive. He knew she wasn't submissive. He knew that. He didn't tell her to come out there talking about submission. She came out there on that bullshit herself. She know goddamn well with a temper you ain't motherfucking submissive. So she was lying right off the bat. He knew she was lying. That ain't got nothing to do with it. He knew she wasn't no submissive girl. She was just coming out on some bullshit against black women somehow, somewhat. Not against black women, but negatively because there was a big old fucking debate about submission. She was coming out saying, I'm submissive. I am. You know damn well you ain't submissive. Don't say that. So my whole thing is, I gave you my two theories. I don't know why they broke up. But I bet you ain't none of them reasons that I stated in the beginning. The cheating and this, that, and the third, and the too busy of a lifestyle and this, that. I bet you ain't one of them. I bet you it's something in-house that you probably never gonna hear about. Cause ain't no way those other scenarios could be true. Cause don't nobody wake up in the middle of the fucking day and say, I want a divorce. He waited. He was gonna file in June and he waited. He waited for something to happen, to change, to occur, to do da. Mama move out. Kick mama out. Get some counseling. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. He waited for something to happen. And she didn't do it. She didn't do it fast enough. She knew something was up. But she thought it wasn't that serious that he would leave. It couldn't have been she was putting her hands on him. Because he would have been none left. It had to be somebody else that was disrespecting, who was doing the disrespecting. It was somebody else that she was either putting her hands on or disrespecting. And he was like, you can't be disrespecting people like that. Or blah, blah, blah. Or it was somebody that was disrespecting him and she allowed it. Or she continued to allow it. And the only person I could think of had to be the mama. Saying some wild shit. And Jezzy found out about it. I don't know. This is just my theory. It is what it is. And this is Heathen Queen.